Imagine you're enjoying a quiet Christmas holiday, finally unwinding, when suddenly this mysterious blonde woman approaches you in a speakeasy.
Yeah, asking if you're a famous detective.
Right. That's exactly how our deep dive begins today. We're pulling a retired sleuth and his, well, captivating wife into this whole mess.
A real vortex of murder, family secrets, unexpected betrayals.
All while they're just trying to have a drink.
And the sources you've given us for this, excerpts from Dashiell Hammett's The Thin Man, they're fantastic. Real gems of crime fiction.
Oh, absolutely. It's iconic stuff. And the magic really starts with Nick and Nora Charles themselves, doesn't it?
Definitely. You got Nick, the ex-private investigator, who, honestly just wants to manage his wife's lumber business.
And then there's Nora. Wealthy, loves a good mystery. Her enthusiasm is just infectious.
She really is. They're this amazing duo, witty, reluctant on his part maybe, but surprisingly good at this crime-solving thing.
So our mission today for this deep dive is basically to untangle this really complex web of relationships.
And uncover the truth behind these murders. We'll look at how, well, even brilliant people get twisted by greed and revenge.
And maybe even more how an amateur's curiosity, especially Nora's, can sometimes crack the whole thing open.
Exactly. Prepare for some aha moments, because you think you know what's going on, but Hammett just keeps layering on the deception.
Okay, let's dive in. So the sources kick off with Nick and Nora in New York for Christmas.
Right. Enjoying themselves. Drinks, parties, far from Nick's old detective life.
They're living it up, trying to be retired, essentially.
But peace doesn't last, does it?
Yeah.
Especially not for them.
Not a chance. This young blonde woman, Clyde Wynant, tracks Nick down in a speakeasy.
Yep, an unwelcome intrusion. She tells him her father, Clyde Wynant, was an old client. She's the first thread pulling them back in.
Hammett uses her perfectly to connect Nick's past to this new mess. She's the catalyst, really.
And then, boom, the festive mood just shatters. News breaks about Julia Wolf's murder.
Found with 4 bullet wounds, .32 caliber, to the chest.
And she's not just anybody. She was Clyde Wynant's secretary and his mistress, as it turns out.
Which immediately puts the spotlight on Dorothy's father, Clyde Wynant.
Right, the missing inventor. Described as screwy or batty as hell.
He's been gone since October, apparently was in a sanatorium back in 29.
So the police and, yeah, even Nick at first, they think, okay, this is probably him. He looks guilty.
It's the obvious answer, almost too obvious.
But Nora. Her reaction is interesting right from the start, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Nick's trying to stay detached, saying it's nothing in my life, but Nora immediately asks, did he kill her?
Her curiosity is just immediate.
Yeah.
She's not bogged down by procedure or probabilities like Nick might be. She just wonders.
It's that dynamic that really drives the story, her intuition and his sort of reluctant logic.
And then the family.
Oh.
Boy, the dysfunction quickly takes center stage.
We meet Mimi Jorgensen, Wynant's ex-wife, Dorothy's mother, just back from Europe.
And her first concern seems to be the kid's inheritance. Wants Nick to find Clyde.
Or maybe get him committed. It's not just about finding him, it's about control, isn't it? And money.
Definitely. This family's already fractured.
And Dorothy herself. She's clearly troubled, very dramatic, lies quite a bit.
She shows up drunk at their place, says she bought a .32 pistol because she's scared of her stepfather, Chris.
But then admits she made that up, just wanted sympathy.
Right.
It shows you the level of manipulation going on.
Everyone seems to have an angle.
Then there's Gilbert, the younger brother.
The intellectual one,
Yeah.
but with those really weird interests.
Cannibalism, experimenting with morphine, it's unsettling.
And jealous of Nick's influence on Dorothy, too. He's another unstable element in this mix.
And holding it all together, supposedly, is Herbert Macaulay, Wynant's lawyer.
Right. Handling the finances, the contact point for the missing inventor.
He confirms Wynant's erratic behavior, the time in the sanatorium.
Yeah.
Basically backs up the police theory.
He seems like the stable one, the professional, which makes what happens later even more jarring.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, connecting back to the family secrets. Who is Chris Jorgensen, Mimi's new husband?
This is a huge twist. It turns out he's actually Victor Rosewater.
The guy who accused Wynant of stealing an invention years ago and swore revenge.
The very same. So the theory is he married Mimi purely as a trick to get at Wynant's money.
Wow. So that means Mimi's marriage isn't even legal, it's bigamous, though she doesn't seem to know who he really is at first.
Exactly. It has this deep personal motive from the past. Suddenly, it's not just about Julia's murder. The pool of suspects just got deeper.
So with that bombshell, things just get messier, more victims, more manipulation.
Yeah, Shep Morelli, a gangster who is Julia Wolf's old flame, confronts Nick.
He denies killing Julia, gives a solid alibi, insists she was on the up and up with him.
And even though Morelli shoots Nick during this confrontation,
Just another day at the office for Nick, maybe?
maybe. But Nick remains skeptical that Morelli's the killer. He's starting to sense the official story doesn't quite fit.
And just as he's thinking that, another body drops. Arthur Nunheim.
A shady character connected to Julia. And the shocking part,
Shot 5 times.
with the exact same .32 caliber gun used on Julia.
Okay, so that changes everything. It's definitely one killer.
Right. It complicates things massively and throws that Wynant did it theory way off. Hammett really raises the stakes here.
So if it's not Wynant, and maybe not Morelli, who was pulling the strings, we start getting these mysterious letters and wires, supposedly from Wynant.
Yeah, asking Nick to find Julia's killer, denying any romance with her, pointing fingers at Victor Rosewater.
And begging the police to leave him alone so he can do his experiments.
He even asks Gilbert to go get some paper from Julia's apartment and destroy it.
These letters are pure misdirection, aren't they? Designed to look real, but actually steering everyone wrong.
Absolutely. And then Mimi joins the party, dramatically producing this piece of watch chain with a knife.
Claims she found it, hid it to protect Wynant, but the implication is clear. It's evidence he's guilty.
Nick smells a rat, though. He knows she's playing a game. But what's fascinating is she accidentally gives him a real clue.
Just not in the way she planned. It's classic Hammett's self-interest revealing truth by mistake.
And the murder weapon itself. That .32 pistol Dorothy bought. The one Nick took off her.
Turns out it is the gun used for both murders. And that was Wynant's own gun.
Julia was supposedly getting it repaired for him. So it connects Wynant directly to the weapon.
It creates this plausible path for how the killer got it. But again, who actually used it?
So Nick's intuition starts really kicking in now. He's not just observing anymore.
Right. His detective brain is fully switched on. He suggests they re-examine Wynant's workshop.
Seems like a simple idea, maybe even grasping at straws.
Yeah.
But Lieutenant Guild's men go back and bingo.
They find the body, buried under the cement floor, disguised.
Wearing a belt buckle with the initials DWQ, not Clyde Wynant's initials.
And that's the moment the whole elaborate facade just collapses.
Wynant's been dead the whole time, killed months ago and buried there.
All the letters, the disappearance, the money transfers, the fake suicide attempt, all faked.
A meticulous, chilling cover-up by someone who knew exactly what they were doing.
And that someone is Herbert Macaulay, the lawyer.
Yes. He finally breaks under questioning and confesses everything.
The motive, simple greed. He and Julia Wolf were ripping Wynant off.
When Wynant found out, Macaulay killed him to shut him up and avoid prison. Buried him in the shop.
Used different clothes on the body to confuse identification. Just cold-blooded planning.
But killing Wynant wasn't enough. He had to maintain the illusion.
Which meant Julia became a liability. She was nervous, might talk.
Especially when she mentioned Mimi was coming to see her. So Macaulay killed her too. Silenced her.
And then Nunheim, the witness who saw Macaulay leaving Julia's place, tried blackmail.
Another loose end. Macaulay lured him somewhere and killed him. It's this awful domino effect.
The cover-up itself was just intricate.
Oh, incredibly. Forging those letters to Nick and Gilbert. Planting the watch chain clue with Mimi.
Giving Mimi those bonds and the check, pretending they were from Wynant, to distract her and muddy the waters even more.
Even setting up a fake alibi for himself with his secretary.
So the letters weren't just misdirection, they were active manipulation, playing on Mimi's desire to hurt Jorgensen Rosewater even.
Exactly. It shows this terrifying level of foresight and psychological gameplay.
It really is something. And Nick's reflection later about how a detective works.
Yeah. Find the person who did it first, then build the case around them, rather than starting from certainty.
That's precisely what he did. Followed his gut, those little inconsistencies, despite all the noise. Pragmatic.
And you really can't talk about this without focusing on the Charles dynamic. It's the heart of it.
Totally. Nora's curiosity, her observations, they're crucial.
Remember her immediately wondering about Wynant? Or noticing Gilbert's weird late-night call about blocking calls? Or the forgotten key?
She sees things Nick might dismiss. She's not just tagging along, she's genuinely insightful.
And Nick, well, he says he's retired, but he just can't switch off that analytical mind.
He sees the patterns, the motivations, even while pouring another drink.
The wit, the drinking. It's partly a defense mechanism, maybe, but the sharp mind is always working underneath.
And their banter, the way they talk to each other. It's not just funny, it's how they cope with the darkness they uncover.
It shows their partnership. They face this grim stuff together. It makes it so much more engaging for us, you know?
So pulling back, what's the big takeaway here from this deep dive into the sources?
Well, it's more than just a whodunit, right? It's a masterclass in deception.
How someone can meticulously build an entirely false reality.
Exactly. And pull everyone else, family, police, everyone into their twisted game just for greed and self-preservation. Appearances are so deceiving here.
The real aha moment isn't just knowing Macaulay did it, it's seeing how deep the lies went.
Yeah, all those layers of manipulation, misdirection, it really forces you to look past the obvious.
To question narratives, even from seemingly trustworthy people.
Yeah.
And it shows the dark side of family, revenge, money.
It reminds you that understanding often means digging way below the surface.
And as Nick and Nora head back to their lives, presumably for more cocktails, knowing this grim truth, it leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
Definitely. In a world where people can pull off schemes like this, how many other things that we take as truth are just carefully constructed fictions?
Fiction's just waiting for their own deep dive, for someone to finally see behind the curtain.
It's a provocative thought. What else is hidden in plain sight?
It certainly makes you think. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the Thin Man. Until next time, keep questioning.
And keep exploring.